The aftermath of World War II, how the world was forever changed. A broken world. In 1945, the guns finally fell silent. After 6 years of the deadliest conflict in human history, World War II came to an end. But peace did not mean relief. Instead, the world stood stunned, wounded, and permanently altered. Over 70 million people were dead. Entire cities lay in ruins. Economies had collapsed. Empires had fallen. And for the first time, humanity had witnessed the power of nuclear weapons. This was not just the end of a war. It was the beginning of a new world, one shaped by fear, rebuilding, and a fragile hope for peace. This is the story of the aftermath of World War II. Europe in ruins. No continent suffered more devastation than Europe. Cities like Berlin, Warsaw, Dresden, London, and Stalingrad were reduced to rubble. Roads, bridges, railways, and factories were destroyed. Millions were homeless, wandering through ruins in search of food, shelter, or missing family members. Entire neighborhoods looked like graveyards of concrete and steel. Food shortages were severe. In many places, people survived on ration cards long after the war had ended. Black markets flourished. Disease spread easily among displaced populations. For many Europeans, survival, not celebration, defined the post-war years. The human cost, displacement, and trauma. Beyond the physical destruction was a humanitarian disaster. Over 40 million people were displaced across Europe and Asia. Prisoners of war, forced laborers, Holocaust survivors, refugees, and civilians fled across borders that were constantly changing. Survivors of Nazi concentration camps emerged malnourished, traumatized, and often with no home to return to. Entire Jewish communities had been wiped out. Families were torn apart. Children grew up orphaned. Psychological scars, what we now call post-traumatic stress disorder, affected millions, though it was rarely acknowledged at the time. The war ended, but the suffering did not. The fall of empires. World War II did not just destroy cities, it destroyed empires. European colonial powers such as Britain, France, and the Netherlands emerged from the war economically weakened. Maintaining overseas colonies became increasingly difficult. Across Africa, Asia, and the Middle East, colonized peoples demanded independence. Soldiers who had fought for European powers returned home unwilling to accept foreign rule. This period sparked a wave of decolonization that would reshape global politics for decades to come. India gained independence in 1947. Indonesia, Vietnam, and many African nations soon followed. The balance of global power was shifting. The rise of the United States and the Soviet Union. As Europe lay weakened, two new superpowers emerged. The United States and the Soviet Union played crucial roles in defeating Nazi Germany, but their visions for the future could not have been more different. The United States promoted democracy, capitalism, and open markets. The Soviet Union expanded its influence across Eastern Europe, establishing communist governments loyal to Moscow. What began as an alliance during wartime quickly turned into rivalry. The world entered a new era, the Cold War, defined by political tension, proxy wars, and the constant threat of nuclear destruction. The nuclear age began. In August 1945, the United States dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Japan surrendered soon after, officially ending World War II. But the consequences of those bombings echoed far beyond Japan. The atomic bomb introduced humanity to a terrifying reality. A single weapon could destroy an entire city in seconds. From that moment on, global politics revolved around nuclear power, deterrence, and fear. Nations raced to develop their own nuclear weapons, knowing that the next war could mean total annihilation. The world had entered the nuclear age, and there was no turning back. Rebuilding and the Marshall Plan. Reconstruction became the defining challenge of the post-war years. In 1947, the United States launched the Marshall Plan, providing over $13 billion to help rebuild Western Europe. The goal was simple: restore stability, prevent economic collapse, and stop the spread of communism. Factories reopened, infrastructure was repaired, jobs returned. The plan helped Western Europe recover faster than expected, laying the foundation for long-term prosperity and cooperation, eventually leading to the formation of the European Union. In contrast, Eastern Europe under Soviet influence followed a different path, deepening the divide between East and West. Justice and accountability. For the first time in history, world leaders were held accountable for war crimes. The Nuremberg trials put Nazi officials on trial for crimes against humanity, genocide, and war crimes. The trials established a powerful precedent. Following orders was no longer an acceptable defense. This moment helped shape modern international law and later inspired institutions like the International Criminal Court. Though justice could never fully undo the horrors of the Holocaust and wartime atrocities, it marked a turning point in how the world confronted mass violence. A world forever changed. By the early 1950s, the world had begun to rebuild, but it was no longer the same. Borders had shifted, nations had vanished, new ideologies dominated global politics. Fear of nuclear war hung over every major decision. World War II reshaped technology, medicine, human rights, and international cooperation. It gave birth to the United Nations, created modern refugee laws, and redefined global power. Most importantly, it left humanity with a lesson written in blood, that unchecked hatred, extreme nationalism, and war on an industrial scale could threaten civilization itself. The aftermath of World War II is not just history, it is the foundation of the modern world we live in today, and its echoes are still felt everywhere.